Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 11 tonight. Let's get started. We are tracking some breaking news out of North Spokane tonight. Police investigating a shooting that sent one man to the hospital. It happened near the corner of Lincoln and Alice. Police tell us one man was shot in the foot. He's been taken to the hospital. So far, no arrests have been made. Also tonight, Spokane County deputies searching for a gunman who they say shot a woman, sending her to the hospital in critical condition. It happened at the Red Top Motel in Spokane Valley earlier today. That's where KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is tonight with the latest on the investigation.
Well, a much different scene out here tonight. The yellow crime tape is gone and so are detectives, but the hunt for this suspect is ramping up. Around 11:45 this morning,
report of a female shot in the head.
Deputies and paramedics raced to the Red Top Motel near Trent and Park.
Once they responded, they found two people who had been shot at. One had been hit, was transported to the hospital in critical condition.
Detectives shut down Trent for more than 5 hours. The busy road became part of the crime scene as investigators set down evidence markers. Drones overhead helped create a sketch of the violent scene. Another person with the victim at the time of the shooting was uninjured.
The other person remains a victim and a witness. They're being interviewed.
The big question now, who pulled the trigger and why? Deputies say the shooting does not appear to be random.
At this time, there are suspects. However, we have not arrested anyone at this point, and we're working to identify more fully and thoroughly who the suspects may be.
A tenant 3 doors down from the shooting told us she heard the gunshots but thought the noise was from construction crews. The sheriff's office says deputies have responded to a lot of calls at the Red Top in the past, but not in the last few years. And several schools and daycares were placed into a modified lockdown after the shooting. If you have any information about this case, give Crime Check a call. That number is 456-2233. Reporting in Spokane Valley, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Today, Governor Jay Inslee signed a bill into law called Sam's Law. It's named after a WSU freshman who died from alcohol poisoning at a fraternity event.
If just one person had stopped or said stop, if one person had called for help when Sam was in trouble, Sam would still be with us right now. And that's really hard for us to live with.
The hazing legislation sets more in-depth reporting requirements for organization when it comes to hazing. It also requires colleges and universities to beef up education efforts when it comes to hazing. Coming up in about 5 minutes, KREM 2 sat down with Sam Martinez's mother to talk about how she feels about the bill passed in honor of her son. BA2, the subvariant of Omicron, now the dominant COVID strain in the country and here in Washington, making up 51% of cases in Washington and 55% nationally. State health officials today say they are watching it spread in Europe and Asia, but that it's not driving hospitalization rates up here. In fact, both case counts and hospitalizations continue to decline in Washington. The state says as of last Saturday, more than 2.7 million booster doses have been given so far in our state. Today, the city of Spokane launched its 2022 construction season with $80 million worth of projects. Several projects are already underway, like the Thor Freya reconstruction and the Hatch Road Bridge replacement. Earlier today, Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward described the Spokane construction and what it will look like for this year. She talked about the development of Riverside Avenue and reconstructing lanes to improve the flow of traffic. The city says the project will be broken down into 2 block phases, starting at Division and then working west.
We're here to basically compensate our clients and get them in a position where they were before the fire started.
Bad Road wildfire ripped through the towns of Malden and Pine City. That fire wiped out 80% of the homes in those communities and changed the lives of dozens of families. Now, 2 law firms are representing more than 27 Malden and Pine City families who lost everything in the wildfire. Coming up later in our broadcast, who the families are suing and why. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word night to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them directly to your phone. A big honor for Gonzaga's Drew Timme. The man with a mustache and unparalleled footwork has been named a finalist for the Wooden Player of the Year award. That is one of the most prestigious awards in all of college basketball. And it means that he is one of the 5 best players in the country. All 5 players have now been invited to Los Angeles for the presentation of the awards. Good luck to him. All right, let's talk weather. Well, if you went outside today, you probably noticed it was a little chillier and a whole lot windier than it was yesterday. Let's get outside right now to meteorologist Jeremy Lagoon. Jeremy, also a lot colder tonight compared to last night.
Yeah, we are down more than 10 degrees now. We sit at 40 here in Spokane, and that wind has a bit of a bite. Has it feeling more like 33 degrees outside right now. We are still seeing some of those clouds overhead. I can see a couple stars if I look close, but you really got to be looking close. And as those clouds clear out, keep an eye on the sky. You might catch the northern lights. We saw them a little bit earlier here tonight. I haven't heard any reports lately, but if you do head outside and you see them, send them on in. Love to show some of our other viewers what you're seeing. Wind continues to die down overnight, and that's a good thing. It's eventually going to feel a lot warmer as that wind dies down. We're going to get rid of some of that moisture and clear out. That'll give you your best shot at catching the aurora. But then by tomorrow, ooh, the sun shines, the wind calms down, and we're looking at temps climbing. By noon, we'll be up near 50, topping out in the mid-50s later on in the afternoon, and it does look like we see more sun and less wind.
All right, Jeremy, thanks so much. Tonight, President Joe Biden told Ukraine's president that an additional $500 million in aid for Ukraine is now on its way. Meanwhile, another round of airstrikes happened in Ukraine's capital. In addition to the airstrikes in the city of Chernihiv, there was attack leaving homes and lives obliterated. This came just hours after Russia said they would, quote, radically reduce its military operations in the area. According to a NATO official, 7,000 to 15,000 Russian troops have been killed in just over a month. Comparatively, in 20 years of war in Afghanistan, the U.S. lost fewer than 2,500 soldiers. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office pushing back tonight after county commissioners approved a $1 million settlement to the family of a man killed by a deputy nearly 3 years ago. Ethan Murray was shot and killed back in 2019 after reports of a man believed to be high scaring children at a Spokane Valley apartment complex. Deputies say he refused to cooperate and ran into the woods near Mirabou Park. Then they say he lunged at them and reached into his waistband. At the time, the deputy said he thought Murray had a knife, but it was later determined to be a pair of sunglasses. Murray's family says Ethan was in the middle of a mental health crisis and did not deserve to die. They say instead he just needed help. The Spokane County Prosecutor's Office later determined the deputy was justified in his use of deadly force. Our Whitney Ward had the chance to sit down with both Sheriff Ozzie Knezevich and Prosecutor Larry Haskell today, and she asked what needs to change to try to prevent police-involved shootings, especially involving those with mental illness. And both told us in this case they believe the deputy involved did everything right. They also say the current system is set up to fail people like Ethan Murray who struggle with mental illness.
What are the lessons learned to bring into your department about how to respond in those situations? Do you think everything in that incident with Murray happened exactly as it was supposed to?
It happened exactly how it was brought forward. One thing that you don't realize, and I wish I could put a badge on you and put you out on the field and have you experience what that was really like. De-escalation only works if we have the time, the place, the opportunity, and the individual has the ability to be de-escalated. Some people don't have that ability if they are suffering extreme mental illness or are extremely high on drugs.
When officers violate the law, if the facts available to my office meet the statutory standard, they're going to be charged and the prosecution will move forward just like any other case. I would hope that the public would take great pride in the fact that the officers are following the law.
Ethan Murray's family also released a statement earlier today. It reads in part, quote, $1 million settlement speaks louder than any denial of wrongdoing. It's never enough and it won't bring Ethan back, but his mother is going to use it to do great things for people struggling with mental illness in the Inland Empire. You can find that entire statement from the family on our website. Just head to krem.com. All right, don't go to bed just yet. A new law in Washington named after a WSU freshman who died at a fraternity party. When we come back, how Sam Martinez's family feels about the new legislation in honor of their son. And later on, a year and a half after the Babb Road fire, residents of Malden and Pine City have filed a lawsuit. Who they are asking for damages from and why. We're back in just 90 seconds.